And welcome back for round 4, game 3, Trent versus Casey, and Trent has had to mulligan again with this round, and games have gone, not oddly enough, against the person that has mulliganed. So we'll see how this one turns out at the end of this one.
Now Trent only mulliganed once this time as opposed to the first game in which he mulliganed twice, so hopefully it doesn't hurt him too much. You want to see a good game of Magic. That's
right. I say they both mulliganed 7 times and top deck war.
In 3 turns they both hit their lands.
That's right.
Alright, well Trent opens with a Thoughtseize yet again.
I like people that play Thoughtseizes and Courses on camera, because it allows us to see a lot of the cards that people are playing.
Yeah, it gives the commentator a lot of information.
So again, we've got a Death Dealer, a Rhino, a Drown in Sorrow, a Hero's Downfall.
Now this is a slightly different situation in that there is double black, whereas last time there was only 1 black source. So the Hero's Downfall and the Drown in Sorrow were further off.
It's still going to be the Death Dealer though, I think.
Yeah, oh, it's definitely still the Death Dealer.
Again, taking away that early momentum. Leaving Casey with a lot of removal and a Siege Rhino.
I think that was a Caves of Coilus that he drew, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, I think it is. Yep, and he plays it. I don't know if he's got a double white spell. If it was best to play that there to tell Trent I drew a land.
Well, in the sideboard probably came in something like Glare of Heresy.
Oh yeah, but like he can still, the Glare of Heresy is a sorcery, so he can still play that the turn he wants to play the Glare.
Sure. Now Trent comes out with his 3rd land, just passes the turn. So I've got a bit of draw-go happening at the moment, although neither of them are playing blue.
Can I say Casey has been pretty fortunate with his top decks as far as the lands goes. He hasn't missed a land drop at all, and he's running out of Thoughtseize.
Alright, so we get to have a look at Trent's hand here. Crackling Doom,
Double Stoke,
Change the Rocks and End Hostilities, which is why Trent hasn't been playing anything.
Well, Trent has sideboarded into the control deck. He's playing the control plane right now, and Trent is a control player, so I think he's feeling right at home with this makeup.
And the Crackling
he just needs the black-white-red draw spell.
Yep. Crackling Doom going straight to the graveyard there. I believe life totals are correct at the top of the screen, 18 versus 17. Trent comes out with 4th land, so he can stoke now.
Yep, he can definitely stoke.
If he wants to, apply pressure that way. But dare I say he wants to just keep those in his hand. He's got the Chains of the Rocks for the Siege Rhino. So that's not too much of an issue at this point in time. Probably wants to keep the Stokes for the Anaphenzes.
Yes, yeah.
So certainly not extending anything out just yet.
Alright, that's an Urborg, so everyone's got swamps now.
So double black, certainly not an issue anymore.
Definitely not.
And that's a Siege Rhino. 20 to 14. I'm going to make a bet we see a Chain to the Rocks pretty quickly.
For Trent's sake, I hope so. And yeah, he's just running that out. He's not wasting time on it.
Yep. Now, we all know he has it from the Thoughtseize, so no use in pretending there, really. Comes out with his 5th land, so certainly not strapped for mana. And the good thing about Urborg is those Bloodstained Mires could tap for black.
Yes. So Trent's going to search up a mountain here, because it's a black-red jewel land as opposed to a black land.
He's certainly an experienced enough player to know to not search for that swamp.
I would hope so. I've known Trent for a while now, and I would hope that that he knows to search up the mountain there, like he just did.
Alright, untaps, and let's see if we can get an idea of what he drew. But I think he flicked it to the back a little too quickly for us. Now I don't think we've seen either of these guys lose a match yet, so they're both sitting on 3-0.
So regardless of how this pans out, we're going to be seeing someone's first match loss. And
so we saw Casey in round 2, Trent in round 3. They're both sitting on 3-0. It's a 6-round tournament plus finals, and you pretty much need 4-1-1 to get into the top 8. Now 4-2 may get you there, but your breakers have to be the best of all the 4-2s.
So both of these players are still eligible at this point in the tournament.
Yeah.
And can I point out that after Trent ran out that wingmate rock and Casey started tapping lands, that Trent started to move the rock into the graveyard a bit early because he knew exactly what was going on.
Yep. So he knew the hero's downfall was there and was pretty much just sacrificing the rock to it.
Yeah, well, you can't sandbag that. And Trent's just been hit by Thought Seize, losing the end hostilities, but his hands double stoke, and I think that was a Crackling Doom that he just drew.
So again, playing that control role that you were speaking about earlier, and I think that was a Crackling Doom going to the bottom just then. Casey's certainly drawing plenty of land. And life totals being what they are, I would probably... I was going to say I would sack the fetch land there to try and thin my deck out as much as possible.
That is something to consider doing, but at the same time, Casey doesn't really need to, but taking 2 lands out of his deck right now would be pretty helpful for his top decks.
You do have to be aware of the 8 damage from the double stoke, though, but you know, that still leaves you on 10. So getting rid of that double fetch is certainly something I'd be looking at doing. Yeah, the less land in your deck, the more gas you can draw, and the better things are for you.
Now Trent's picked up a Sorin, which I assume is making a vampire.
Trent's never one to lack for tokens, so out comes a vampire token.
We've got some action happening here, which is good to see. Is that that's a Bile Blight for the token?
Now, would you have gone for the Bile Blight or gone for the Drown in Sorrow and Scryed? Because we know he has both.
I think the more powerful play in this particular instance would probably be the Drown, but I think
I also would have gone with the Drown. Also, you know, if you drew something that was relatively expensive, which obviously he has,
he's drawn an Elspeth.
You know, it still allows you to play both because you've still got 3 lands untapped and you've got that Scry to follow up the Elspeth.
Yeah, so Trent's just deciding whether he wants to have an end step play.
So
Elspeth is pretty awkward for him to deal with because he's lost his end hostilities to a Thought Seize earlier, and
Stoke the Flames doesn't quite do it.
no, it doesn't. The 5 loyalty is too high for the direct damage, and there's 3 creatures now.
So he needs something like a Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, he definitely needs that.
And he hasn't seen Elsbeth come out in either of the previous 2 games, so don't know if he was expecting it a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you would expect the Elspeth from the Abzan aggro deck. I know Elspeth does appear in a lot of the lists.
Yep. But bringing Elspeth down to 2, and that was with a Lightning Strike, can take her out with a Stoke the Flames here.
Now, Trent's making a vampire token because, well, he knows that whatever he does here, Sorin can die from the attacks. And now he's Stoke the Flames to take out Elspeth.
Yeah, leaving him with a 2/2. And if there's a Drown in Sorrow now, that would also take out the soldier tokens as well.
Yep. Now, Elspeth, like, I know you wrote your article late last year saying that Elspeth is dead, but this is showing where Elspeth still has the power. Like, Trent had to use 2 spells to get rid of Elspeth,
Yep.
and there's still 3 tokens in the battlefield.
Yep.
And that's a lot of card value. That's a lot of value for 1 card right there.
Oh, absolutely. I've never said that Elspeth wasn't playable. But I just said she's not as strong in the format now as she was pre-rotation.
Now, Casey has played his Drown in Sorrow, so we can have a scry. Looks like he's uncertain of his play right here.
Or is he just trying to tap the right amount of mana? Or did he miss a scry?
No, he scried, he kept it on top.
Oh. He plays Nissa. Now, Nissa is a large beatdown, turning that land into a 4/4. Trent does have 1 more Stoke to try and deal with it next turn. Can Crackling Doom.
I like that because it deals 2 damage to the Nissa, and he can finish Nissa off with Stoke the Flames when he untaps. And he had to take a point of pain to do that there. 2 points.
Now, did Casey go down 2 then as well from the Crackling Doom?
No, the 2 points of damage went to Nissa.
Yep.
And this way, Trent can finish her off with the Stoke.
Stoke the Flame. And so, Trent's got 1 card in hand. Casey 0 at this point in time.
And Casey kept the card on top with the scry. So whatever this is, it's something that
We've got to think
that's useful.
Something threatening, you'd think.
Yeah. And it's an offensive.
An offense is definitely threatening with that 4/4 body.
Yeah, that puts Trent on a 3-turn clock. So he really needs to be able to interact with that in offensive.
He's got 2 cards, I think, in hand. I don't think we actually know what either of them are.
No, he's very good at not showing the camera, I've noticed.
We're going to have to talk to him about giving us just a little more information.
But whatever he's got in hand doesn't look, from the way he's thinking about it, doesn't look like it's a direct answer for an offensive.
It's not an end to hostilities there?
It was an end to hostilities. I think he was just deciding whether or not to save it for a turn.
Yep.
But
and try and get more value out of it.
Yeah, I reckon it was not incorrect to do that there, because Anafenza can finish the game.
Alright, so we're scrying with the Temple. That goes to the bottom. Leaves Trent with 2 cards in hand versus 0 cards in hand. So if you're Casey at this point in time, what do you want to top deck? What are you looking for?
A threat, mostly. Anything that Casey can just run out and attack Trent with, because Trent's still got a few cards in hand. Ooh. Trent's got his own Elspeth as well.
I was about to say Casey really wants to see another Elspeth or something like that, but
maybe not there. Not like this.
doesn't want to see it on the opposite side of the board. So let's see what Casey can draw to deal with this Elspeth. You know, Bile Blight or a Drown in Sorrow would start to help, but doesn't solve the problem.
At this stage, Casey needs something like Bile Blight and something to deal with Elspeth.
Well, Siege Rhino certainly buys him time and can trample over a lot of those tokens.
Now it's up to Trent whether or not he decides to minus Elspeth to kill the Siege Rhino or make more tokens. I think killing the Siege Rhino is probably the stronger play.
Yep, and then coming through
then attacking
with 3.
Yeah.
We all know, however, Siege Rhinos tend to hunt in packs. So I'm predicting another Siege Rhino in the next 2 cards from Casey.
In the next 2 cards.
Next 2 cards.
Alright.
I'm predicting another Siege Rhino.
Well, let's see if your prediction comes true. It looks like Trent is ticking Elspeth down, which will make Elspeth easier to deal with depending on what is on the top of Casey's deck.
But you've got to feel relatively confident in Trent's shoes at this point in time.
If I was sitting there, I would be hoping that Casey doesn't draw anything relevant.
Yeah.
And
because whiffs with the land or something like that.
Something like that, because Casey's still on 16. It's going to take a little bit before.
Oh, I picked it!
Oh, can I point out that Dave didn't watch this match before. Is that right?
Yeah, I refuse to watch the matches before I commentate them.
So that was genuinely a prediction that was correct. That was genuinely a guess.
Pretty happy with that. I'm pretty stoked with myself at the moment.
Now let's see if there's another Siege Rhino coming, because Trent's on a scary 3 life.
He's on a Siege Rhino clock.
And he can't deal with the Siege Rhino as easily as he did last turn, because Elspeth is too low in loyalty.
But he can make another 3 soldiers, and that can certainly block the Siege Rhino, kill the Siege Rhino.
Yep.
And Trent's still deciding on the scry here.
Well, this is a very important scry.
So if you've got something like Butcher of the Horde there, you keep that, because it can gain your life as well.
Yep, Butcher of the Horde you keep. Sorin you keep, for the similar reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to guess that top card's not either of those.
Creature kill spell, like a Murderous Cut or a Hero's Downfall.
Yep, you keep that.
You keep that.
I feel like Trent's deciding not to keep it. I'd be interested to know what that card was, because it's something that's strong, but not any of the things that we listed.
Yep. Now, Elspeth's neg ability is neg 3, is that correct? Yep. So he can wipe out the Siege Rhino next turn, as long as Elspeth doesn't take damage this turn.
Yes.
So is he attacking Elspeth, or is he attacking Trent? You'd have to attack Trent, yeah?
Well, they're both on 3.
Yeah.
So I do believe that you attack Trent here.
Yeah, 3 of Trent ends the game.
Yeah.
He just blocks with everything.
Yeah, it looks like he blocked with at least 5 of the tokens. If I was Trent, it would have been everything. And that's a wingman rock.
And this is why Elspeth is dead, because she doesn't stop the rock.
Now this...
She can't kill a Windmate rock or the token.
Now Trent was looking through his graveyard to see what outs he might have. Although he does know what the top card is.
He's got 4 cards in hand.
This is such a rough position to be in.
Attacks for 2.
Do you think he has his own rock? He's got 3 in the deck.
Well, he could at least have a lightning strike to try and take out the rocks if he blocked.
Yeah,
but Casey hasn't fallen for that.
If he's got the rock, he's definitely slow playing it. Well, I don't want to say slow playing it.
Well, there's a Glare of Heresy, getting rid of one of them, but he's still going to take 3 from the other one. He has to deal with both tokens, both creatures.
It's past the turn. I reckon, I'm not sure if Trent has anything here. He's just playing to see...
Yep. Couldn't find the answer. He had the lightning strike there, so as long as he didn't block, he was fine.
I think that Trent was passing the turn there. He was playing. He knew he was dead. He was just playing to see if his opponent would kill him.
Well, that was a tense one. That a good win to Casey. He goes on to 4-0. Trent to 3-1. We'll be back with round 5 very soon.